It's the worst hour of the week with Brian Vokey and Ramsey Badawi.
Christ. Here we go.
Are we rolling?
We are rolling.
Welcome to the worst hour of the week, ladies and gentlemen. We usually don't actually start off this abruptly, but look, we're doing a little pre-ramble, which is actually just kind of a little chit-chat before the mics go hot, and today's episode is going to be hot.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of stuff to get to on today's show. Tyler's got some drama going on. And we're going to watch an amazing video of the North Korean army doing martial arts. I'm telling you guys right now, this video will change your perception of North Korea. I had no idea these guys were so tough. These guys are serious.
Oh, we'll get into it because I did a little training with The Rock.
The Rock?
The Republic of Korea. Their army. They're called The Rock.
I thought you were literally talking about Dwayne Johnson. I'm like, you met The Rock? Did he come through the studio?
The Republic of Korea.
Okay, yeah. They are serious. Like, whatever they're learning, I'm going to learn. Also, I want to talk about Nike. They stopped selling products in their Israeli stores, which means that I can forgive them for the slavery.
Well, God, the tracksuits. That's all you guys wear.
They I think that might be the decision that they made. Who's buying more tracksuits? That's the side we got to get on. But we'll talk about that as well, and then I want to talk about the Great Resignation. We were talking about that on our Patreon, but it's gotten a lot juicier. Before we get into anything, I want to make sure that we talk about our show on October 22nd at the Hollywood Improv, 7:30 p.m. Brian Simpson, Audrey Stewart, Eliza Skinner. It's going to be a wildly...
Me?
Okay, we'll cut that part out. People don't need to know you're going to be on the show. If you'd like to go to the show, I highly recommend it. We'll have a link in the show notes. Please buy tickets. If Brian and I continue to do well, good things could happen. Let's just say maybe Brian and I are going to open up our own improv somewhere.
Yeah, I was thinking about franchising.
Yeah, that's what's at stake here, folks.
I'd prefer a Funny Bone. I think it's a better name. I think it allows people to understand that what they're about to undergo is a tickle of their funny bone.
I hear you, but there's a sort of a strength that the Improv brings, which is kind of why you and I chose to do the show there.
Yeah, we were shopping around. Everybody was knocking our doors down.
And we decided,
we took a meeting with the Laugh Factory, took a meeting with the Comedy Store. Flappers was second.
Yeah.
we were going to go Flappers, which, what's funny is that Maria Bamford had a show on Netflix.
Flappers Comedy
Hollywood
Club in Burbank.
Yeah. And she would make jokes about Flappers, like on her sitcom.
Yeah.
And that's how stupid of a name the comedy club is, where no context needed. It just sounds stupid. So it was like totally fine to write it in there.
Yeah. Well, we're going to sell out the show. We're going to open up an improv in the Middle East, actually, which I think is what the way to move. Libya, I think, would be a great place to open up a comedy club right now.
You think so? Right now?
Oh, yeah. There's look, people need a break from all the public slave auctions and whatever else is going on over there. People gotta laugh right now, dude.
That's an Emcee gig.
That's a
there. You realize that? No, like literally, like
you can make $75 a night.
Like a failed Libyan comic is emceeing slave trade auctions right now. I mean, that's like.
I really wish
that's terrible.
I really wish that wasn't actually happening. But I just saw a 4-hour documentary where it's like. And they're going for cheap.
It's like the Coney Island hot dog guy who comes out in that pork pie hat. He riffs a little bit.
Look, it's
terrible.
I'm telling you, if they don't have an MC there, they should get an MC there, and we should do MCs at all public executions.
I feel like we always find our the most horrific joke of this show is always the first one.
Yeah.
It's the wrong order.
No. I think you're right. I think we start off strong, and anybody who sticks around sees both sides of us.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the show, you're gonna start seeing cute.
I'm gonna
shit.
cry.
Yeah, you don't cry. Okay, yeah, that's enough Libyan slave trade talk. Although I could do it forever, unless you got, I've always got a little bit of Libyan slave trade humor in me. Right. I just saw that a documentary on it, or I saw a thing on Vice. That's what I mean when I say documentary. If I say I saw a YouTube video. If I say I saw a documentary, I saw something on Vice.
Yeah.
about the Libyan slave trade.
I've watched a few things there too.
It's and it's like it's still going hard. It's crazy how much we disrupted the Middle East. I mean, Libya is North Africa, but it is part of the Middle East. It's part of the Arab world. It's ascended into full-blown chaos everywhere over there, and our news covers it not at like
zero.
Never covers it. Like Libya, Iraq has got like millions of protesters in the street right now because their election was a sham. Syria's a nightmare.
Well, John Gruden sent some unsavory emails. So how could we have time to talk about slavery when John Gruden is saying bad words in his emails?
It's wild. With that said, though, I do want to maybe, I don't mean to start the show off on a negative note. It is my birthday today.
Is it really?
Yeah, I do want to
I
let
had
the
no
listeners
clue even like what month your birthday was in. So what are you, a Virgo?
know. I'm a Libra. I want to let the listeners know that it is with a heavy heart that I report that I have survived one extra year. Listen, I'm losing the war on aging. Let's just say it.
I know, but don't worry. Eventually, you're going to win that war. You're losing the battle. You'll win the war.
It's hard to believe sometimes, man.
What about you getting Botox?
Botox is in the mix. I'm definitely thinking about getting a chin implant.
I think Tom Brady did that.
I really am thinking about getting a chin implant.
Might as well.
It's like while you're
like
there.
Jay Leno? Like how far are you going? Do you look at Jay Leno and be like, no, that's a man.
Yeah.
That's a man's jawline.
Jay Leno's got a strong chin. I kind of just think.
I would say.
I mean, it's maybe a little bit. His chin is too strong and not authoritative enough.
He looks like the Scream mask.
Yeah. I want like
chin.
Travolta's chin. You know what I mean? Like Travolta's chin has an equal level of strength, authority, charm, softness, harden. It's everything you want a chin to be.
You really like John Travolta, huh?
Well, I'm an admirer of great chins.
With or without the wig?
Does he wear a wig? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I like him bald. I like him.
Yeah, I like
him bald.
Yeah, bald with that chin and gives a little bit of a Belarusian kind of vibe.
Yeah, he's strong. He simultaneously looks strong and weak at the same time. Like some part of him looks like a Belarusian warrior, and another part of him looks like a cancer patient.
Tyler, who's got the best chin in Hollywood since you're?
Oh God, here we go
buff.
again. Back with the Hollywood Minute with Brian. This could be a segment on your show. Best chins in Hollywood. I come in as maybe I come in as a segment guy. Here with our
chin expert.
Our chin expert, Ramsey Badawi.
Yeah.
Come in and that'd be awesome, dude.
You got,
Tyler's really.
I'm really thinking.
I've seen Tyler for I would say hours in my lifetime. I've never seen him think that hard.
John
before.
Hamm has quite a jawline.
Yeah, John Hamm's good. I think John Travolta's a great pick.
Yeah, John
I just
Travolta
watched
might-
Blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got that dimple in the middle of his chin that lets you know exactly where the middle of his face is, like the line.
Yeah, dude. He was like, he's one of the few guys who was like a Screech.
Yeah.
You know, he was on a sitcom. Before,
Was he?
Yeah, before
Like-
Saturday Night. He
like
was
he
like
was a dork?
Yeah, he was like a goofy extra character, like a fifth.
Yeah.
You know, fifth on the call sheet. This is the Brian Volke Hollywood Minute. he was probably fifth or sixth on the call sheet.
I love a Hollywood movie.
He played Vinny Barbarino on a show, like I think it was called Welcome Back, Kotter or something.
And a fun fact, his left foot is actually an inch shorter than his right foot. So he's got an interesting little plan.
Yeah,
People don't know about that.
I had a friend who was in wardrobe, so she knew all about all that stuff.
I hate it. It's the worst when he talks Hollywood.
So, yeah, but he was like a Screech and then immediately became a sex symbol.
Was it preteen? And then he became like an adult kind of, and then America Saw.
I think he was like 17 to 20. I think that was the transition.
Yeah.
It was not that dramatic.
I think that might even I honestly hope that happens for me on this show. You know what I mean? Like, I hope people look back at the worst hour as like can you believe he started off in fucking podcasting?
Yeah, yeah. And now
it's absurd.
Now you're in the Arabic Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah. I'm done. As you guys know, I'm done. I'm done with my American acting career. I did just secure a Chinese acting agent, so I'm doing stuff.
If you get signed with the right agency, like you get roles at gunpoint. Like people force you in. If you're like, hey, if you don't cast this guy, I'll kill your daughter.
Hey, I got a good Hollywood Minute joke for you. I just signed with a Chinese talent agent, CCPAA. like CAA,
Yeah, I
but
got
CCPAA. All right, maybe it wasn't that good of a joke.
WG.
I like that. WGA?
Yeah.
It's an XI?
Yeah.
Okay, that one was better. But you needed mine to get that. You needed mine
I'm
to
a
get
counter
that.
puncher.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned about in comedy. Like I'm a duo guy. I'm a counter puncher. Like so I can't lead with the jab. You lead with the jab.
Yeah.
And you come at me, and then I knock you down with a counter punch.
That's sort of the way that the show works. Is I lead with the jab, and Brian's now we're
I
doing.
forgot I never said happy birthday to you. I just
birthday,
realized that.
dude.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I don't like. I don't
He
like.
started cradling the microphone like a pacifier.
I gotta tell you, I feel and I brought this up on the show just so everybody knows, purely to kill time, but purely out of the lack of preparing any other material.
Yeah.
I really hate my birthday. Like I feel misery all around it every single year. I can't stand. I honestly didn't even think about it until last night at 2 a.m. I was brushing my teeth last night at 2 a.m. and I was like, "Oh shit, it's my birthday. That's crazy." And I just moved on.
Do you? Is it a fear of death? Fear of aging? A fear of? Is it just kind of time passing? Feeling an urgency to accomplish something? What is it?
I think it was that I was. It's probably all of those things. A little bit. I hate any sort of special attention for any reason.
That's I've been talking a lot with friends about this. The reason I don't know if maybe you can relate to this. It sounds like you can. I hate attention, but I want to be a stand-up. Like I do stand-up comedy. That's like my job, and it requires attention all the time.
I very much agree with you.
And all I want is to walk out on stage and do my thing, and then nobody remember me.
I can't agree with you more. I think many people would probably agree about this, about the both of us, and someday even Tyler. But if we wanted more attention, we would be very successful, because part of it is, it's like you get into comedy, dude, we're talking a lot of comedy lately, but hey, you know what? Life is life. What are you gonna do?
No. But I think people can relate to this, where like you want to be great at something, but that's not what makes you succeed. Like
that's not what makes you succeed. The love of attention really is
what makes you succeed.
What makes you succeed.
Like when I've had jobs, like I had a job at a catering company, and I climbed the ladder, and they gave me like a desk job because they liked me being around, and I would make jokes to make people. I was terrible at every level. I just was terrible getting promoted. And there were people who worked really hard who were just, nobody liked them. Nobody liked being around them.
Is now at a catering company, is it really a corporate ladder, or is it more of a step stool situation? Like I have, what is it, 2 steps?
It's actually you flip a mop bucket upside down, and you
That's
stand up.
sort of what I imagine. I don't imagine a huge corporate ladder.
It was an event production company, but I call it catering because I like to downplay, because I'm the common guy. Oh, let me cover up my watch.
Whoa.
I don't want people to see. It was a catering company. I'm playing poor.
You got dropped. Tyler, Brian actually gets gifted watches occasionally.
Yes. Guess what happened last night?
Does comedy for the mob. What happened? What if I could guess exactly what happened?
Go ahead. Well, I posted it on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay, go.
So I
don't follow you on social media.
That's fine. I don't follow me either.
Yeah.
I get a text, and originally I thought it was my fault. I thought I had a show in San Diego. I drive to San Diego, and not only, of course,
2-hour drive, 3-hour drive.
Not when I left. 3 hours when I left.
Because it's about 120 miles, but with LA
3
traffic.
rush hours. You got LA traffic, OC traffic, and San Diego. I hit 3 different rush hours.
Yeah, it's taken me 5 hours before.
Yeah. And I hurt my hip playing tennis, and now I'm like, it's excruciating driving.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in traffic, and then I get to the venue, and it says closed, and I was like, I thought the show was at 7:30. And all the stools they're showing no signs of opening. All the stools are on the tables.
Oh yeah, there's like webs. You're like, is this like a Halloween decoration? Or...
Yeah. The windows are broken. Yeah. There's like a ooh coming through.
There's a wolf howling. Is this a Halloween thing? Or...
It's like in Pee Wee Herman's, where like, Large Marge has been dead for 10 years. But So then I look at my phone and I look up the show, and the show is next week.
That's
So I drove all the way to San Diego, right?
Yeah.
And then I checked back on my texts, and he said this Tuesday. He was wrong. The guy who booked it.
Oh.
So he gave me and I was wondering why he didn't post, because he's a good promoter, and I didn't get tagged in any posts.
Do you want me to go after him with Hakeem?
No.
That's actionable, dude.
I called him. He felt terrible.
Uh-huh.
So he called me over to his apartment, and he works in high-end weed, in the high-end weed industry.
Yeah.
He gave me no less than $500 worth of an array of hilarious weed products.
Yeah.
He gave me weed pop rocks.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of
edible
creative
cookies.
stuff out there.
He
Yeah.
gave me $100 bottle of a cannabis-infused aperitif.
Yeah. I imagine these are
so
all.
jealous.
I imagine these are all, by the way, samples he gets. So he just.
But that wasn't. It was like a full bottle. Like,
Sure.
Yeah. No, it was all free for him.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
told me that, but he was like, let me make it up for you in some way that I can.
It's a fair look.
And
It's a
he gave
nice
me-
thing to do.
Dude, he gave me. I got like 4 or 5 like CBD pens that I'm hitting now. This is a cinnamon one. It smells. It's like I'm smoking a snickerdoodle. It's unreal. I love it. Which, if you know anything about me, I love snickerdoodles.
I just can't. I've tried a million times to vape a CBD or do something. It's just doesn't.
It calms my anxiety down.
It calms you down. Is it sure? Maybe it's just the oral fixation, though.
100%.
I'm
Whatever.
trying to get you to smoke cigarettes. I'm like, have you tried a cigarette, kid?
I don't give a shit how it works. It works.
God bless you.
Whether or not it's magic or I'm stupid, I don't care. But so he gives me all this weed, and like I'm not that big of a pothead, but my girlfriend she's just massive, smokes massive amounts of weed.
Hell yeah.
And so when I brought that home, dude, I'd never seen her so excited. I looked like a hero.
Yeah.
And I got to meet his baby, 2-month-old baby. And I'm a big fan of hanging out with little kids.
Oh, awesome. He's got all this weed around his 2-month-old baby.
So even if that kid got high, how would you know a 2-month-old baby's like baked? You would have no idea.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right.
He sleeps for 13 hours a day anyway. So,
I tried to go somewhere.
and then somebody hit me up on Instagram because I posted on there. It was like, come by the American Comedy Club. We have an open mic. And I was sitting there, I was having a nice talk with a married couple with their child, getting all this free weed. And I was like, I'm good. I had a great time. It was like, as far as like driving down to San Diego for a gig that didn't exist, I had the best night I've had in a while.
I remember back when I first started comedy, the American Comedy Company's open mic was always crazy. There was like a lot of people that would go there that are just like, people would just come hang out and watch an open mic. It's wild.
Yeah, I imagine San Diego, it seems like everybody has money and they're always hanging out.
They have like 6 comedy clubs in that like
I know.
2-mile block.
But beyond
they're
that,
all opening next door to each other.
and
It's amazing.
There's arcade. Everything's leisure. Everything's based around leisure activities.
There's a lot of defense and a lot of tech stuff down there, and then the rest of it is big brewery money, I think. I really believe.
Dude, I mean, there's a brewery on every block.
I think there's like some brewery titans. I imagine if you open a brewery, San Diego is sort of like having an app and going to San Francisco. You know what I mean?
I
Like
wouldn't be
whatever
su-
the tech
yeah.
company, I feel like the brewery business is in San Diego.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a scandal in San Diego about like excess hop dumping has like
Yeah.
ruined the bay or
Yeah.
whatever, and like animals are dying from all the hops.
Yeah, I've never seen so many goddamn breweries in one place.
It's unreal. Also, like more rainbow flags than maybe any city I've ever seen in my life.
San Diego is a phenomenal place.
Yeah.
It really is. I listen, it's one of my fun facts that I love to give out. Only gay Republican mayor California or San Diego's ever seen. Or California's ever seen of a major city, Carl DeMaio.
Probably.
But he was Republican and gay, so it was a very like hilarious.
What do they call that? A log cabin Republican?
I think he wasn't even that though. Like he was like libertarian. Like he was like a weird dude.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
hung out with
Earrings?
like
Did he have
Gary
an earring?
Johnson. Essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him with earrings, whether he had them or not.
What do you think in the history or like in the future? What do you think is the most aggressive piercing? An elected official from mayor up, whatever. Do you think there's ever been in history or will be a tongue ring mayor?
Yeah. I'm sure like Portland or something like that. I think that tongue rings are gonna stop. I don't know if we'll ever have a governor with a tongue ring. I think it stops
Because
at
we got
governor.
New York had a nipple pierced governor.
Allegedly, though, right? He still denies it.
Yeah, but I mean, that is clear as day.
He could he can legally he could reasonably come out and say he has 6 nipples. He has 3 nipples on each side. That's a reasonable defense on his part.
Yeah, where it's like an old BB injury from when Chris shot him in the chest with BBs.
I think craziest we'll see is, but we will see a president with a sleeve.
Oh, 100%.
Our next president will have 2 sleeves.
Yeah. He'll have the Joe Rogan logo tattooed on his shoulder.
We're not that far off from that one, but I think tongue rings is about where we sort of draw the line.
Yeah. Do you think sleeves will come before a woman?
That's a tough one. No. I'm telling you, next time they get a good crack at it, I think woman is the next one on the rung. White woman is the next person who should be president.
Yeah.
And honestly, yeah, I agree. That's about right for me.
What are we on The View now?
Well,
and honestly, yeah, I agree.
I think it's when I see the Karen energy out there and how prevalent it is, you're like, that is the person who should be the next that's the next biggest demographic in this country.
If you can have a meltdown in a Starbucks over like whether or not somebody cut you in line, like you're a detail-oriented person.
Can I say this? We don't give Karen culture enough credit for how entertaining it is.
Yeah.
I was at a Starbucks the other day and I was just like chilling, drinking coffee, doing a little writing. And a woman came in with like Karen energy. Like she yelled at the barista. She didn't have her drinks ready. She went up to the front. She was like demanding to get a refund. and then like the woman, the poor, I mean, really, I've never said this phrase before. Poor young lady. That's the only way I can describe this woman who was working back there. Was like, I can't do the thing. The manager's got to do it. So if you want to hang on a minute. And she was like, no, I got to get my refund now, and blah, 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 blah. She was going hard. But all the while, I was looking around and looking at everybody at Starbucks, and we were all loving it.
Having a great time. She's got 9 cameras pointed at her.
It made us all so goddamn happy to be like, we're actually seeing it. I was looking at another family like, can you believe this?
Yeah,
and they were looking at me. It was like a great moment where we all got together to fucking not like this woman.
Public freakout on Reddit is just that. It's just video after video after video after video of a white woman getting fucking hysterical. It's a great little time to kill an hour if you got a diarrhea or something.
From an ethical standpoint, my only problem with it is I don't mind the public humiliation, but they get fired or whatever. I feel like we're incapable of not firing people now for shit like that. Where you're I understand some things are probably somewhat fireable offenses, but other things are like whatever. So that's my only issue with it. But I like the unification of like we all hate this.
A weird, ill-informed speech at a PTSA meeting shouldn't give you fired.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. Like if a woman
shares some unsavory thoughts at a PTSA meeting, who cares?
Reads 45 minutes of like somebody who's
Ayn Rand or something.
The Daily Wire publishes, and now she's got thoughts on critical race theory. Now, granted, she really shouldn't. Her instinct shouldn't be, I need to get to a microphone. But okay.
You got to respect the kind of person who learns something and then an hour later is regurgitating into a microphone, because that's pretty much what this podcast is.
I respect it. I like the effort. I like that you showed up and you figured out where the meeting is and all that. Mm-hmm. I can't ever empathize with you in any capacity. Because the notion that I would want to go down to city council to talk to somebody is so far removed. And let me tell you, I as a guy who worked in public politics or in the public space for a while, anyone's allowed to speak at those city council meetings. They have no restrictions. If you want to call and talk to Ryan Seacrest in the morning, you'll go through 3 screeners.
Oh, of course. And you probably still won't talk to him.
And you still won't talk to him. You want to shout at Eric Garcetti? What are you doing Tuesday at 8? Yeah. He's the mayor of the 8th largest economy in the world. Come on through. It is absurd. The freedom with which people can speak at public city council.
Oh my God.
So the idea of coming down and writing a thing and talking about the birds, I could not imagine I could not imagine doing it. So,
Dude, we should go down. Have any comedians ever used that? No, I'm kidding.
I know. I gotta tell you, when those guys, when Chad and JT pulled that off, I was bummed out because I was like, oh man,
that is
other
Ramsey.
people figured out the comedy of city council before I got there because it is crazy. They're great. I mean, they
you
literally
just gotta find your angle in on how to use the crazy. Yeah.
They literally did the same thing. They went through. Somebody read on a card that these two guys want to do a statue of Paul Walker, and was like, so come on
whatever.
in. Here, come on, talk to the mayor
Next
right now.
on the docket, Chad goes deep.
Talk to this guy that's being paid by public taxpayers.
What up, city council? Yeah, they crushed it.
It was great. Okay, all right, all that out of the way. We do have a little bit of. Do we have a minute for the third spinoff on this podcast, Tyler Drama?
Yeah, I mean that's why people are tuning in now at this point.
We have a new spin-off podcast potentially coming out called Tyler Drama. It follows the life of Tyler Gizar, recently
separated.
Recently separated. I was going to call him widowed, but that's not the right phrase.
No.
And the I got to tell you the shenanigans this guy gets into.
It's unreal. I mean, the mess, because the great thing about Tyler is, right, like, is that you've got a little bit of paranoia in you already. You've also got a manic energy about you. So when things start to crack, you go ahead and throw a sledgehammer right through it, and it makes it so much more entertaining, which is what I really enjoy.
So, and this is a classic example, Tyler, of stuff that you can't bring up to Brian individually, but completely okay to bring up on the podcast. This is where Brian draws the line.
Yeah.
Like, save it for the pod.
I actually talked to him for a while the other day.
Well,
I did it.
Tyler?
Yep.
I'm glad that you did that,
I did
dude.
it. Yep. You owe me $12 for it.
It was solid advice.
We will not
good advice.
We will not be paying you this week then. So Tyler, we got a text from Tyler last night. Brian and I. Can I just read the text? Okay.
The first one?
Yeah, what's the first text say? You know what, Tyler? Summarize it for us.
Let me double check.
Yeah,
You need to hit the CBD before we get into this. So, by the way, this podcast is brought to you by
Select
CBD.
Okay, so I got a text from Tyler.
Let me double check what I said.
Yeah, hold on. He says, okay, all right, can I read this? Starting with
go
someone.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It says, someone called my wife and told her everything I've been up to, including details that I kept a secret and only told 2 other people I knew. I'm actually filling in a couple blanks here.
Yeah.
Tyler was panicked.
Yeah. It was little fingers, too.
And he's got the little fingers.
His fingers get tired stretching all the way from A to Z.
Well, what people don't realize is Tyler kind of has to use his arm to do the.
It's a lot like Dance Dance Revolution for him.
Have you guys ever seen Big?
Yeah, exactly. On the pianos.
Tyler runs.
Tyler checks with his feet. You gotta take your shoes off and do it barefoot, but I mean, it's the same biometric capabilities. I mean, a foot is exactly like a hand.
We turned Tyler from small hand into dwarf.
Yeah, he puts his phone on the floor and does a jig and texts.
So ultimately, what it comes down to is Tyler. You spent a few minutes not sure what happened initially.
Yeah, I mean, I got a phone call at 7 a.m, and I ignored it, and then I got more, and it was just my phone was blowing up, and then she FaceTimed me.
Now, really quickly, Tyler, I do want to, before we get too deep into this, I do want to remind you that this is a podcast. I do not want this to be used in any sort of divorce proceeding. So please, as much as I want Brian and I's podcast to be played in a court.
Oh, I would love that. Where they wheel in one of those old TVs on a cart.
And they have
plug it in.
They have to listen to it, and there's a court transfer.
Finding HDMI adapters to get the computer into the TV.
Court reporter, can you please read back the last moment? So I had this energy drink, and I was no, not that.
It calls up in defense of Christopher Columbus. No, not that one.
Go a little bit fast.
By the way, Porcelain Jesus was right. He called me out on that, and he was right.
Yeah, that Christopher Columbus was a bad dude all along.
I was just being a knucklehead contrarian.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know about all that, actually, to
I
be
didn't
honest with
either.
you. I had no idea that Christopher
till we
Columbus
learned-
was a really bad guy.
Really?
Yesterday we learned he was
Okay, hold on.
We know he's a bad guy, like in modern sense, like as a colonizer, but I didn't know he was considered bad in his day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea that other people in the 15th century thought he was a bad dude.
You understand what it's like to... How bad does a guy have to be to own a slave and then also be like, that dude is fucked up, though.
Yeah.
Like, you are a slave owner and you're going, this dude's a dick.
Yeah.
He's talking to the slave.
Yeah.
He's like saddled onto a human being, riding him like a horse. That guy's a monster over there.
Child bride, probably. Like,
yeah.
that guy is inhumane.
Yeah.
I had no clue that Christopher Columbus was so bad. I really did.
I really enjoy when the listeners call us out on that stuff.
Yeah.
Because we know their intentions are good.
Join the Patreon, by the way. That's a great reason to join the Patreon, is we take your criticisms and point of view a little bit less critical. You know what I mean? We're really able to
100%.
come in on it.
Yeah.
If you come at us at a YouTube comment, I'll try to fucking find you and dox you.
There's a guy in my Instagram right now trying to request messages from me, and I'm thinking about maybe triangulating his location and sending a couple war buddies over there.
But if you're in the Patreon, you're in the Discord, you know what? I'm going to open up a Discord channel today just for criticisms.
Yeah.
Just give us the criticisms there.
It's like your lobbyists. That's
Without
what
a
it is.
question.
You know, you get our ear and
Yeah.
we listen, and actually we change our stances based on you giving us an opinion that is also backed with cash.
Now, speaking of pillaging, Tyler's single life. Let's talk a little more about it.
Yeah.
So your ex-wife calls you, and again, I wanted to warn you about the legal side of things.
Yeah.
It was important. Akeem told me to say that. Akeem can't really help you with American marital law, unfortunately. He said if you're getting divorced in Pakistan, he would represent you pro bono, is what he said to me.
It's just between him and his ex-wife's father.
Yeah, is that me or you?
That's me.
Okay. Debt collector?
Abby.
Tomato.
Yeah.
7 a.m. calls. You finally decide to answer. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Do you read a text first, or do you?
no, I just answer it. I was kind of tired.
Eyes
Okay.
are crusty.
Yeah. Okay. So you read the text.
And then she confronts me about something that went down that only a couple people knew, and she had details.
It was who knew, the prostitute and the pimp and you.
Just a
The two people who were Dog the Bounty Hunter and Brian Laundrie. I'm like making too many of those jokes at this point.
Yeah. It's Edge Mad Libs.
I know.
By the way, it's funny how much Twitter is just edgy Mad Libs
Yes,
now.
100%.
Where
Yeah.
it's just like Gabby Petito was unvaccinated. That's the crime. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
So then she tells me, I'm like, how do you know this? And she says, a friend of mine is not as good a friend as I think.
A friend of yours is not as good as friend as you think you.
Yeah, there's a sentence.
Yeah.
I
So
couldn't-
okay, so she's now trying to basically turn you against your homies. She's
Yeah.
trying to cause internal chaos. Very Machiavellian, dude. Your ex-wife is a fucking real ass chick, dude.
It's pretty smart.
That's fucking cool as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Creating internal internal torment.
Yeah.
She's fucking awesome,
Well,
dude.
and then Tyler calls me and tells me that, and I'm like, yeah, you should just get rid of all your friends.
Yeah.
That's my reaction to it. Everybody's like, there might be one of my friends might have done something. I'm like, yeah, fire all of them.
Yeah.
Who needs a friend?
I'm with Brian on this
Yeah.
one, but so that's why it's cool as shit from her. She's like, I'm trying to get him fucking alone, you know?
Wait, just real quick on the friendship thing. My girlfriend offered to rent out a screening of James Bond just to read. And she's like, you can invite your friend. Would Ramsey want to go? And I was like, what are you talking? You Ramsey and I going to a movie together?
Oh, no
Could
fucking
you
way.
imagine? I had no clue it was your birthday.
No.
I'm not going to the movies with you.
As far as I'm concerned, I consider the weekend the second this podcast is over. That's when my weekend starts, man.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So now, it's 7 a.m. It must have been tough to get to screaming. How quick did it take you to get to screaming?
I don't think I ever got to screaming.
Do you scream, Tyler? Are you a
Yeah, I'm a
screamer?
screamer.
Oh, for sure. All the way down there,
no.
he's got to be heard. All the way up there.
That's a good point.
I forgot I did scream on the phone.
Okay. So she's yelling at you. She's going, you're a loser. Why are you hooking up with other chicks. Like,
Yeah.
Your ass is still legally mine. That's sort of that's her point of view. Is that correct? That she's
Yes.
just like, you're legally still mine.
And she also does have a contract on her side.
Without a question.
She's not wrong.
Well,
Like contractually. I'm not saying spiritually.
well, I would say if I was Tyler's attorney, I would say, well, he breached the contract by breaking it, so it's null and void. So what if there's a contract? It's not there. He broke it.
Oh boy.
Did you sign a prenup, Tyler?
No.
She's gonna get.
Dude, she's gonna get all your vans.
Dude. Tyler only has the right shoe of 10 pairs of Vans.
You know how hard it is to find shoes that small? The only way he can get shoes is if he buys a Monopoly set.
I'm hiding. Tyler's like, hey man,
Multiple.
do you mind if I keep my penny board at your place? At your place?
I don't want to lose it. The divorce.
So I'm gonna legally say that you bought this from me, but I'd love it back once the
Do you mind
dies down.
do you mind if I store my ticket stub to the Joker? I really don't want to lose that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. So Tyler, back to your hellscape. She's yelling at you over your foibles, we'll say.
Yeah, foibles is a great word for that.
And so what's your response on this one? Are you emotionally crawling into a ball, or are you just fighting back? You're done.
I'm freaking
You're
out.
out.
I'm freaking out a bit.
Okay.
So then I'm making other phone calls to people, and then one of my friends is like telling me like, you gotta relax. The only solution is she hacked you somewhere.
Okay.
And so I'm like, there's no way. I check my Instagram and I can see you can see when someone logged into your Instagram. Doesn't say anything. And then I'm just like, maybe check my email. I'm going through my emails. I find an email.
We use the word hack a little liberal.
We very loosely. Yeah. She didn't really hack. She just sort of.
Yeah.
She just guessed.
Yeah, she guessed.
This isn't the Matrix. She
Yeah.
just guessed your password.
Yeah.
Definitely.
His password is I am Tyler.
Yeah.
Exclamation point.
Film rules 22.
Can Film Fest.
Spielberg Rock 69. I love it. I think. How close did we get, Tyler?
Spielberg Rocks is in the ballpark.
ballpark?
It's in the ballpark. I will not say.
I love
But
Hitchcock.
no, it's a director I like
you
more.
changed it, right?
I changed all my passwords.
So why can't you say it?
No.
I might still have used it
'Cause
on
it's-
something else.
Yeah, don't say it, Tyler. I don't need
I can't believe you didn't have my back on that one.
Listen, I do have your back fully on this one, but she 100% legally, her attorney's listening to this podcast now, so it's a very strong possibility.
Yeah. So I find an email that's from Instagram and it says someone logged in on a Mac OS X at 6:37 in the morning. And I was like, boom, there it is. She logged into my Instagram and read my DMs.
Dude,
Yeah, 'cause
I'd love to interview her and find out how long it took to guess your password.
It must have been easy.
Yeah, that's wild because, I mean, even if he just adds any numbers, like the year he was born, the month of his birthday, the day of his birthday, like there's so many possibilities. So how...
Yeah, she had you, honestly, Tyler, you may have actually missed out on your soulmate there.
Yeah, 100%.
She had you pegged down to a fucking person,
know.
dude.
Jesus Christ. So what now? What were you freaking out about?
Yeah, because I'd be like, yeah, I did, bitch. Like, get out of my, like, I'd be like in her face about it. What are you pissed off about right now?
Well, she sent. She also went and found my Bumble account, and then sent screenshots of my Bumble account to her family members.
So what's the deal? Are you not allowed to fuck anybody until legally you guys are separated? Is this how it works?
I guess so.
I think only when there's financials at stake.
Well, we got obviously.
I don't think there's any finances at stake.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Are you kidding me? You make over $80 a month on this podcast.
You kidding? He makes about 2 grams of weed.
Wow, yeah. Whatever samples I was given later.
Yeah, but that's good kush, dude.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
No, I feel like when there's financials involved, but like, I mean, it's a weird thing to hold on to the contract. It's like, that's not really what a marriage is.
No, I think
You know what I mean?
I think it's unreasonable behavior on her end because it's over. Move on. You know what I mean? But Tyler, look, man, Tyler's he's some sweet cock, man.
Yeah, he must have a hanger.
He must have anger.
Yeah, dude, he must put it down. I mean, he has thick haunches. I bet he could really put it down.
That's exactly it. It's like, I want to tell her to get over it, but, we know what Tyler's got. We know what we have here.
So what's next for you? Guys getting back together?
No, we're cordial. We're cordial.
Has she found your Thrinder account, or Field as it's called now?
No.
I have to do that part of the joke. Otherwise, people don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole day I got trashed with text messages from family members, pretty hardcore ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
like her family members are going...
I don't understand what the problem with you being on Bumble is.
Dude,
the girl has to talk to you first. It doesn't mean you're. It doesn't mean you get any action.
If anything, they should be trashing these whores who are messaging you.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like you're on Tinder.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's another embarrassing thing that happened. I forgot. I guess my YouTube was still logged into the TV.
I love this.
Yeah. And I would be terrified.
It was all like tutorials on how to be more charismatic and how to pick up chicks videos.
8 ways to forget about your ex-wife.
Here's how to walk into a bar and steal everybody's gaze.
Fedora reviews. Now this one comes with a feather on the right-hand side, which I really like.
Every girl has a G-spot. What was it?
Okay, so I went on a date with a girl, and she had sent me a bunch of songs to listen to that we had listened to in the car. Okay. And so I decided, I'll just make a playlist of those songs, and I named the playlist her name.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
And then she was on YouTube and found that playlist.
Well, I would have said that she was her name clearly like somebody who can't be related to you. What if you were like, it's my niece?
No.
I don't think his niece is named like Clarisha or whatever.
Next time she catches you in something, call me. And I will give you reasonable doubt every single time. I will give you some story to give her.
Also, just fake a bad signal.
Yeah.
Say the call dropped.
Oh man.
Yeah. So are you? You guys are cordial. You got through that rough patch.
Yeah, I think so. But
did you respond to her family members at all?
No.
I think the only fair way.
They're bad.
The way to get past this, I think the easiest, or I guess the most amicable way, is we should hack her Instagram, and then we should look through her messages, and then we should start messaging her on behalf of Tyler.
Being like, I know what you're up to, which is probably just going to school and
doing whatever, but
just chilling.
There might be something incriminating in there. We'll look around.
I don't want to take a side in this thing yet.
I've taken Tyler's ex-wife's side. I think I've been pretty clear.
I'm on her side as well, actually. That is the side
she does rule.
Yeah.
Guessing your password and then getting you to second guess your friendships. That's like
that's an awesome move. It's kind of like arousing.
That sounds like something one of my Palestinian uncles had to suffer at the Mossad did that to him.
Yeah.
He got really fucked up over it. Like, dude,
he can't trust ever again.
I destroyed all my friendships for this, and you just guessed my password.
Take away a man's trust, he'll never have a revolution ever.
All right. Well, look, man. Let's move into a slightly happier topic because we've actually been recording almost an hour. So let's just get into the show really quickly.
I'm gonna pee real quick.
Go take a piss. Well, I guess we have to wait for Tyler. Anyways, come back. Should we just? You want to take a quick 5? Let's just wait for a quick 5 because. Welcome back to the worst hour of the week, ladies and gentlemen. It's we had a little bit of a what would you call it? A whoopsie?
A mishap? A boo boo.
Brian,
I shit my pants
over the break. Okay, dude, that's very, it's very funny and all that you shit your pants, but let's be real with the people. You spilled coffee all over yourself.
Whoa.
You had to change.
The very last episode, I talked about a girlfriend spilling food, and I wondered if women were clumsy.
Uh-huh.
And then
here you are.
Kismet? Is that Kismet?
I think, I wouldn't know. Even if I did know, I have to pretend I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was something. The universe got me back.
You keep how many outfits in your car at a time?
3 to 4. They're all hanging up in those garment bags on the hooks.
Are you sure you don't live out of your car? You're like,
for a second there, this year, my dad, he seriously asked me if I was living in my car because every time he called me, I was driving somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you need to come stay at home for a minute? Do you have a place?
Here's the thing. People who live outside of Los Angeles and outside of this particular business that is overrun by oligarchs don't understand how hard you have to work
Just
to lose money.
traversing. Yeah.
Like the amount of money that you could have in the bank right now if you were just like, I'm going to be a postman, like the old man, and I'm just going to do the thing. They have no idea you are working during the day to pay and then like losing money like a degenerate gambler at night.
And then dropping like $40 at the Pink Dot.
Yeah.
On the way home, like the thing about Hollywood too is all the convenience stores are like boutique-y now, and so like you're spending gas. Thanks, Biden. Is like $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
And then like you're on your way home, and you fucking.
I'm not as silly as you. I don't blame Biden. I know there's a supply chain shortage affecting the world. I could. By the way, supply chain shortage is. You could tell. You could excuse any action.
You're wearing a soccer jersey. If OPEC had a soccer team, that's the OPEC soccer jersey.
Nobody's fault but the Taiwanese. I say we jump in, by the way, right now and go anti-Taiwan. It's just an easy way.
I don't think that's new for us. I think we've always been.
I have
China. We're pro-China.
One of my absolute.
I don't know. I'm not anti-Taiwan. I don't think there is a Taiwan.
I like it. Yeah.
It's China.
Yeah, without a question. Yeah. How could you be? You just became a minister of affairs in China with that kind of.
Or in 10 years, my head will be getting chopped off, and I won't even remember I said that.
Either way, and by the way, just so everybody knows, there's somebody's moving furniture right now,
or something, or drilling into the floor.
I just want people to know that's not Tyler's stomach. He's not.
From all his 7-Eleven and Taco Bell and shit.
He's not fucking hungry now.
Tyler, what'd you have for breakfast? Real quick, I want to get back into this, but what'd you have for breakfast?
I haven't ate breakfast.
Hell yeah, man. That's the fucking cool thing to do.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I only eat one meal a day now.
Yeah.
Sort of like a snake.
Yeah.
I eat all 3 of the meals.
Do you
in
have
one
to
meal.
immediately pass out asleep after you eat?
That's kind of the move. I was like talking to my doctor about that recently.
They're like, literally the only time we tell you not to eat is right before bed. You're like, I'm going to do it all right before I go to bed.
I'm doing all 3 meals. I'm drinking all the water. And so, by the way, when I do sleep, when I finally fall asleep, it's like every 30 minutes I got to get up to shit or piss.
That's me, dude. I thought I was the only man who wakes up to shit.
No, I never wake up to shit. That's a problem. I will say, though, yesterday, I for sure had all 3 meals in one meal.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it's how me and Jack Dorsey do it. Well, Jack Dorsey does a little bit different than
I think
me.
he does one meal.
He does one meal. Wow. Yeah.
So you're taking the opposite. Like, you know how the influencer takes their day's worth of water with them.
Yeah.
You take a day's worth of food.
Because the second I start eating, I can't stop. So I've decided to just kind of open up a little window and to just basically, I love binge eating. I'm not giving it up. So I just sort of eat continuously for about 3 hours a night.
I was trying to come up with an Arabic Pac-Man joke, but I like to think of it as Iraq Man.
Iraq Man is good. I would have also accepted Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And, well, of course, just Pac-Man. I mean, Mrs. Pac-Man is you can't even get any of the fruits or anything in the mouth. It's
all
just
Pac-Man.
when they turn to ghosts, you can't tell the difference between the ghost or Mrs. Pac-Man. Mrs. Pac-Man, the Middle Eastern Pac-Man.
There just is no Miss Pac-Man.
The ghosts are women.
Yeah, exactly.
Run!
Oh my God! Get him out of here! I'm becoming aroused.
I love Pac-Man. All right. Let's kick off the show here. Can we start on this North Korean army military demonstration? I mean, it was martial arts.
Yeah, I would say I mentioned earlier in the episode that the ROK, the Republic of Korea Army, came to Fort Gordon, Georgia, where I was. There was like not the whole army. That'd be crazy.
Sure.
A few guys, and we were doing some calisthenics and some workouts in the morning. You kind of train with everybody who's there. There were some Australians, some Israelis, and some Koreans.
Yeah.
The Korean dudes were like kicking their own foreheads. It was insane. And they were jacked, and they do shit that only the Marines do here, but just regular. We were all intelligence employees. Like, we were we weren't infantry. And like the morning, they'd be doing bone hardening shit where they like smack their fucking forearms together and kick their shins together
to like callus it up.
To harden their bones. And and I'd only seen Marines do that, but dude, it was like these are just nerds at a desk, jacked.
I grew up with Korean people all around me. I'm familiar with the Korean culture. They're wild motherfuckers, dude. They don't fuck around. So
I'm completely unfamiliar with the culture, but the military was fucking right on.
So there's a reason why in all of the countries that exist in Asia, Christianity really took a hold in Korea.
Yeah.
It's because Korea and America are very similar minded. Korea's a lot better. It runs a lot smoother and runs kind of the way you want it to run, but they love drinking. They love fighting. They're cowboys. That's how every Korean person has explained it to me over there. Like, that's why they have adapted real well in American society, and American society adapts real well to them.
Yeah.
Because very similar culturally.
I know it's real rugged territory. I know it's very cold in the winter, mountainous.
That's why all the shit that comes out of Korea, like, that makes it to the American mainstream is fucking so intense, because it's an intense fucking life over there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't shock me that they rolled up and like wanted to be like special forces. It doesn't shock me that they want to be special forces.
Yeah. It's funny because you're like when you're in the intelligence world, you're often around other armies, and you just think in your head like, I don't want to fight them.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight them.
Yeah.
I would easily fight them.
You get a good idea of like who's actually the threat.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this clip of the North Korean martial arts demonstration. I'm laughing thinking about this. All right.
Not worried about CTE over there, I noticed. Whoa, is he get a sledgehammer to his bicep?
Hit pause on this.
Oh!
Okay, I just want to be clear for the audio listeners. What you just heard, that first thunderous sound that you just heard, was just somebody running their head through a cinder block. Now, I've heard of the part where you punch the cinder block and it breaks, but somebody literally smashed their head.
I mean, I've even heard of a headbutt.
A headbutt?
But not running through it. Like that. There's a difference between a headbutt and running through.
I mean, let me tell you, he disintegrated that.
Are they like, who's the head of this army? The Hawaiian Punch guy?
Now, I think you're asking what is it that they're hoping to accomplish? Do they not know about drones? I think North Korea has been like, listen, let's be real. We're probably going to get hit by drones. We probably aren't going to ever have drones. Probably the best move for us here is to figure out how we can survive Hellfire missiles.
Oh, see, so they could headbutt their way out of rubble.
So if you
that makes sense.
I'm saying, I don't know if it's a good idea. I'm just saying that guy is more equipped to get struck by a missile than me.
Yeah. I mean, like, this kind of man is only useful in sport now.
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, colonization, war, it's run by nerds. It's run by nerds and robots. Like, there's no reason to be like this unless you're fucking, in a sport where you can make a ton of money.
There are some cultures, I'll tell you right now, a Middle Eastern dictator would respect this.
Oh, everybody would. I mean, I respect it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember men, and
They're
I
fighting.
listen to Adam Carolla on the way here, and I say shit like that out of nowhere. So, yeah, I'm old enough to remember men.
The Ace Man.
What the fuck?
The Ace Man will fucking
What did I
get ya.
just say?
Play the rest of this video.
Oh my god.
이 당의 품속에서 자란 동작을 연방 수행하고 있는 우리의 용맹한 전투원들에게 관중들은 열광적
I'm just picturing Indiana Jones shooting him.
Kim
Jong-un loves it.
조국의 평온을 지켜
This is just. Wait, hold on. Hit pause.
My bad. I didn't register this as North Korea.
Yeah.
I was still thinking South Korea.
Oh no, South Korea. This
Yeah.
is hilarious for South Korea.
Yeah. No, North Korea. This makes perfect sense. Never mind. I'm not nearly as confused.
Yeah, South Korea.
Yeah, they're wacky up there in the north.
Well, listen, I'm now realizing the more that we watch this, is this obviously super court. I mean, that was beautiful dancing.
Yeah, this is a live show for the dictator.
Kim Jong-un is just sitting in a throne, clapping, laughing.
Wouldn't you?
I would be too. If I saw like what we just saw right there was a beautiful ballet, except
Yeah.
it was done in different outfits.
Dude, imagine how badass they would be if everybody was eating.
Now, do you think? Here's the thing. I will say this. I'd like to see. This is just my own personal preference, but I would like to see you guys try to run your heads through an American cinder block. I have a feeling we have better materials here. I have a feeling now. I'm realizing some of these cinder blocks were made in North Korea.
Yeah, they're it's sugar glass. It's like a film set. By the way, at Hollywood Minute, the glass that they're breaking over the head is made out of sugar.
Oh, really interesting. Who told you about that? You have a friend on set?
I PA'd a little. They used to feed me in shards of sugar glass when I worked on set.
That was Brian's job. When somebody hit somebody over with a fake, they called Brian in to eat it.
Yeah. It's green.
I don't know. Yeah, now that I think about it, now that I kind of see the full picture here, I am actually starting to think that maybe these cinder blocks aren't real.
Yeah. This is what you have to, like, if you're a gay guy in North Korea, this is what you have to do. This is like...
You mean because of the performance aspect.
This is like being a Rockefeller dancer, or whatever those people are, Radio City Music Hall. What are they called? Rockettes?
Yeah. It does kind of feel, and I got to be honest with you, because there was a lot of shirtless sort of thing going on. It did, like, I was thinking as I was watching that if I was somebody who found men attractive, bisexual, pansexual, gay, and of course I'm pretty queer, I could have jacked it to that.
Yeah, for sure.
That was pretty fucking that was hot. These guys.
No, that's good looking shit right there, for sure.
If you're into that, by the way, I guess there's probably some, gay people out there who are not into the military thing, or into more of a Navy thing.
Right, like Tyler.
Maybe more of a police thing.
Or
perhaps
Native American thing, maybe? Or construction worker?
Ooh, we just combined two of them. We should get these North Korean.
You think all gay people are... The village people represents the spectrum of taste.
Well, that's what I'm to understand.
Yeah, no, I imagine that. I would imagine North Korea. Do we know how they are with homosexuality? Like, is it an oppressive place to be, or can you openly be gay?
We're gonna have to turn to Tyler on this one. I gotta figure out whether I gotta guess.
Because you will find an outlet. You know what I mean? And if it means dancing around and kicking cinder blocks in the air.
What if I would love to get just like 5 of these guys and do like. I mean, these guys, I feel like they're wasting their talents over there. It's like, if you came to LA and just started demoing buildings when they, could you imagine them standing, each one of them on a different wall, just punching and headbutting? That's a good living, man.
I mean, yeah, they could headbutt their way out of North Korea.
We got to get
through that wall.
We got to get a North Korean wrecking crew together.
Oh, that would be sick.
Would be pretty sick.
It's a green wrecking crew.
Oh,
we use no gasoline. They headbutted this building down,
and almost 100% of the proceeds end up going to North Korea.
Yeah, they send all the money back.
They send it back.
Yeah.
So we end up laundering money. Kim Jong-un buys a missile thrower company. Tyler, what's the verdict on?
There's a website that has an index.
Yeah,
I'm on a Wikipedia page that's just like all about LGBT rights.
You gotta stop making that website, by the way. Your homepage. It's weird that whenever I go to Brian's house and I open up an internet browser, that's what pops up.
Hold on. What is it called? Like a homophobia index?
Yeah.
It says that most defectors from North Korea don't even know homosexuality exists.
Yeah, that just seems to me.
That sounds like it's illegal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does. It does. Absolutely. Because if they don't know it exists or they pretend that it doesn't exist, it means there's a bad. Because they may be that. It may be that they're also like, they themselves are gay and they're having a tough time dealing with that.
Yeah, exactly.
They just got out of North Korea. Now you're asking them identity issues?
Yeah, I know. They're like, they're probably like this close to dying from their first meal because they hadn't had that much food,
Just give them 20 minutes,
Yeah.
Then ask them about homosexuality.
They're like, every North Korean is like Brendan Fraser in that Blast from the Past movie.
Encino Man?
Yeah, no, isn't it called Blast from the Past?
Oh, is it called? I was like,
those are
both Brendan Fraser movies.
Yeah, I guess. That guy was a time traveler.
It was at a time when you had one hit movie, they just tried to do the same thing. Like they just tried parallel.
What a weird typecast as a time traveler.
Yeah. Encino Man was with Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Fucking great flick, dude.
Yeah, dude. Great actor.
One of the few movies I finished start to finish.
Encino Man?
Encino Man.
Was the joke that he came back in Encino, California?
You know what's funny is I I'd watched the movie way before I even knew Encino was a place, and I just sort of
You thought it was an era, like a caveman era?
I didn't even think about it. I just accepted it as the
There was
title.
like the Plasticine, and then there was the Encino.
Yeah, to me, I would have been like, I don't know what a crypt keeper is really to think about it. I just accept that word. What the fuck is a crypt keeper? Is there anybody that hangs around?
Isn't it a skeleton that pops up out of a coffin and tells you scary stories?
Perhaps. I saw Encino in the same sort of light, where I was
Right.
well, whatever an Encino is, it's this guy.
Is that the valley?
Yeah, it's the valley.
And so that's like where like, whoa, like skater dudes were coming from back in the day? Okay.
Yeah,
So
now-
that, like Pauly Shore was like an encapsulation of Encino culture.
Oh, now I'm starting to get it. I
Yeah.
totally didn't even get it. I literally, even today, right now, I know where Encino is, and I never just thought about it. I just thought it was a movie about Pauly Shore.
Wheezing the juice.
Okay.
By the way, former producer of Pauly Shore's podcast, Tyler Gazar.
Tyler, did you get fired by Pauly Shore?
No, I ended up ghosting him because he was guilt tripped me into working for not a lot of money.
You didn't know that?
Come on, buddy.
It's the Weasel's podcast, buddy.
Dude, what I made for him
This
was
is the
pretty crazy.
2003. This is the 2003 podcast premiere. We're doing Pauly Shore impressions. I don't even know if people know who Pauly Shore is, who are like.
He still sells out everywhere he goes.
Yeah, but he sells out to people who are not online.
Yeah.
He's
He
up-
opened for him. Tyler opened for him.
So tell me about this, Tyler. Are you okay talking about this publicly?
Hollywood Minute.
Yeah.
Oh, or is this a Hollywood Minute segment?
Yeah.
Can
So-
you guys talk about this on Hollywood
Yeah,
Minute,
yeah, yeah,
actually?
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
put this off. Listen to Hollywood Minute this week on Patreon. And
Yeah. Let's get back to the news.
they'll talk about this. Let's get back to the news.
So North Korea's got a fancy free army.
What is that beeping sound, by the way? Is that beeping sound something that I...
No, that was me.
That was you?
That.
Oh, no. I don't think it was that. I think someone's using a stud finder next door or something.
Probably going off with these three studs in here, huh?
It sounded like a North Korean submarine, like... Boop, boop, boop,
Yep.
boop, 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 boop. Okay. Anyways, hilarious video. You guys want to finish it?
Yeah, please.
Let's finish it.
They're putting on a good
민군
show.
군인들의 높은 격설 능력을
See, like, this is such a funny choreographic.
Yeah, choreographed fighting. How does that make you feel tough?
Look how hot these dudes are shirtless. Like, even
Sugar glass
non-muscular.
for sure.
이 전투원들은
Oh, he's laying in
He's laying on glass.
담력과 배짱
This feels like a cage match.
목숨 신과 용맹을 더 억세게 표려갈
Yeah, Mick Foley did all this shit.
충만되어 있습니다.
He loves it. Kim Jong-un loves it.
I love the idea of Mick Foley being a consulting producer. Like, have you thought about, how about getting hit in the head with a burning 2x4? That would be really...
Have you thought about having a guy take his sock off and put it on his hand and shove it down a guy's throat? The Korean Army's doing Mr. Socko.
Dude, that fucking ruled. I'm, you know what? Even if it was completely fake, I'm happy that they
Did you ever
not.
see the old videos of the Christian evangelical like weightlifters?
Yeah.
You know, where they do shit like that, where they like smash and then they like talk about God.
They talk about God.
They like
yeah.
bend a bar over his head and then talks about how he used to like suck cock for cocaine until he met God, and then he smashes a fucking cinder block.
I like that. I like that he's like, I don't really know. Like, I know that the crowd isn't going to know what to do with some of the information I give them. So when we hit one of those snags, I'll do something tough.
They sold out arenas.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
dressed like American gladiators. It was sick. I forget what they're called.
Okay. In Middle Eastern news in general, Nike stopped selling its products in Israel. There's no need for the video on this one. I realize it's just a graphic video. I mean, if you want to hear the song while you read some notes over it or whatever, hit play on it. You know what? They can hear
Let's
the
see.
song and I'll read it.
Let's see what music they went with. Did they go with Hava Nagia?
No. They go with like some kind of a elevator hold music. Like hit play. Yeah. See. So Nike has decided to end the sale of products in Israeli stores.
It's an unflattering picture of that, buddy.
The U.S. firm sent a letter to shops in Israel saying the decision is valid from May 31st, 2022. All right, that's nice. Remind me to try to buy Nikes in Israel in like March 2022.
No, buy a bunch here and go sell them after.
Oh, snap. Okay, so following a comprehensive review performed by the company, considering its changes, yada, 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 essentially, Nike's letter stated that... Okay, you can hit pause. This music is starting to drive me nuts. Nike's essentially saying that occupation violates its its company culture or whatever. I like the idea that they're like, at our company, we think building settlements. It's hilarious that you, as a company,
you have to have an opinion.
You have to have an opinion about the Geneva Accords, where you're like, as a company, it feels to us that the 1967 borders were fair, and you're like, Jesus, this is exhausting.
Until you return Golan Heights to Syria, we will not be selling basketballs.
Because it means that the company has opinions on things. Like, they now drew the line.
Yeah.
They have opinions probably on Pakistan and India but China and the Uyghurs. Well, not that one.
No, they absolutely do. Didn't they? Weren't they one of the ones that got banned from China? Like, Nike's like dying on its sword right now.
Nike did not get banned by China.
I thought they said we're no longer using cotton products made from Uyghur slave labor.
Whoa, I had no clue about this.
I thought they were one of them.
I thought that the Uyghur slave trade was just such a dirty secret that corporate America, this is kind of what I think is sort of quietly happening behind the scenes. I'm not much of a conspiracy guy, but I do think that that corporate America is like going like, let's jump on climate control, let's jump on gun control, LGBTQ rights. We just need people to not know what the Uyghur slave thing is, because the Uyghur slaves are driving overconsumption. Well, I don't mean to blame the Uyghur slaves for it. The China's use of the Uyghur slaves is driving overconsumption of the world and making everybody so fucking rich, it's unbelievable.
But I do think Nike took a stand, did they not, Tyler? Are you looking it up?
It looks like Tyler's...
Well, it's funny because this is a perfect example of what you've been talking about. They're on purpose.nike.com.
Okay, that's...
Nike has an official statement on Xinjiang.
Okay.
which is already hilarious. Yeah. Nike is committed to ethical and responsible manufacturing. We uphold international... We are concerned about the reports of forced labor in and connected to Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. Yeah, they got...
So they're concerned about it, but what does that mean, though? Exactly?
China was like, boom, you're gone. No more. And then they had like their version of BTS, like their like boy bands, like were like made songs or something about not wanting to wear Nike. Like they like went... It was like... it was like Nike and H&M, I think, and maybe Forever 21. I forget all the companies.
That actually
it was a big
out.
News story. We talked about it.
I don't know if I remember Nike being on the list. I was always assuming all the retailers are still fucking.
And I'm sure Nike's probably mended their relationship with China because that's definitely more important. But they still...
Can you finish reading that? We are concerned doesn't sound to me like they took action.
And we have confirmed that our contract suppliers that they are not using textiles or spun yarn from the region.
So they called the guy, hey, out of curiosity, are you using materials, spun out of, Xinjiang or whatever?
It's very long.
The point that I want to make there is I'm willing to bet, and I'm not saying it's going to be crystal clear on that document. I'm willing to bet they're still getting their shit from Uyghur slave sources.
Well, why Nike, H&M, and others are being boycotted in China, April 21. Yeah, so it was a boycott that the government was like telling people to boycott.
Not to wear. Could you imagine the government being like, don't wear this, and then you're like, that sounds good to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand being scared to wear something, right? Because if the government's like, don't buy Nikes, I'm pretty sure they also probably have a law that says we better not see you wearing Nikes.
Yeah, I don't think the Chinese government makes suggestions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm Nike's going for it.
Yeah,
huh?
Nike's really going for it. It's very interesting because it's like, what's your end game?
I like this idea and I like this angle, and I think that as an organization, the Worst Hour should do this. We basically hire slaves to help build this podcast.
Hire slaves?
Wow, you're right. I mean, I'm quotes around hire.
Yeah.
However we attain them, we attain them.
Yeah.
We get them to build the podcast. Mm-hmm. We make $1 kajillion on the podcast. And then once we're kajillionaires, we're like, you know what, dude, that was actually kind of fucked up.
Like the Patton Oswalt move.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to listen. I don't want to even bring Patton Oswalt because God bless Patton Oswalt, but Nike makes, I think, a little bit more. And I think along the way, Nike was pretty goddamn clear on what they were doing.
I'm just saying, you make money one way and then you renounce it when you get older.
I could see how at one point 15 years ago you thought, calling people gay was funny. I could see how that. And I could see how one could update their views on that. What I can't see is how 15 years ago somebody was like, "What? They're getting paid 18 cents an hour. Like that's fine."
You just made Swiss cheese of my argument. You're right about that.
I just want to be crystal clear on our point of view, or my point of view at least. You know, we can all have whatever point of view we want. This is America, baby. This isn't Nike.
This isn't China. I can go to H&M right now.
Yeah, baby. Okay. So that's kind of cool that they're Palestine might. You think Palestine will ever actually start to get some steam, dog?
Every time they get steam, it gets squashed.
I forgot to tell you something so funny happened the other day, and I don't. Maybe I'll cut this out, but so I'm actually going to be out of town next weekend for our show. I just found out today, because I got some gigs in Arizona, and the gigs happened because the IATSE strike is going down. So essentially the guy who I'm featuring for is like, well, I can't work, so I'm gonna hit the road. And so now I'm the biggest supporter of the IATSE labor union strike.
Of course.
Now that I realize it could potentially lead to middling work for me, I'm going to be on the front lines. Trying to get all of the productions halted until we can agree on living conditions.
So when does the strike start? Right now?
I think it starts Friday or something. Tyler, you might know about this. Do you know anything about this? It starts like Friday or something.
Yeah.
I mean...
A lot of people changed their avatars to the IATSE logo.
Yeah. I said some shit on our podcast on the Patreon about this that I actually have since walked back a little bit. I mean, I was kind of making fun of the fact that so many blowhardy kind of people were like on their phones tweeting about like, you know, poor labor conditions, but the phone was built on slave, you know, all that kind of.
Yeah. How funny is it, by the way, that argument, people treat that argument like it's hacky and tired because it's used so much because it's real?
Because it's real.
You know what I mean? Where you're like, yeah, but your phone was made by slaves. And people are like, oh, that old song. I've heard that argument.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I hear ya. I hear ya. And I said that, and I still stand by that, but I understand the IATSE thing is interesting because these guys are getting you know what? These dudes are getting fucked over by like Netflix and Hulu, and it's crazy how little they pay their people and how much money they suck. All I needed is that angle.
Yeah.
People weren't giving me that angle. People kept coming at me with like, we got to support workers. And I'm like, that's not the angle that's going to get me interested.
It's always tough. It's tough to hear people doing better than you talk about how bad they're being treated. It's always tough. And it doesn't mean they're not being treated bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't invalidate them, but it's always tough to swallow. It's like when those Netflix employees stormed the board meeting to protest Dave Chappelle, when I'm thinking back on how I was when I was bringing them lunch as a caterer, how everybody in that office treated me like such dog shit that I was immediately like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You sit on a beanbag for a living.
Yeah.
Fuck off. But it's true. You could be treated like shit, and it's not your fault that I've in the position I'm at in life.
Well, I just always had this. I always got to fight this Arab thing in me, because when it's like, when people are like, we're working 10 hours a day, we're getting paid, you know, whatever, and I'm going like, just that's fine. Just move on. But it's Arab of me, and it's not okay. It's very much like, you want to talk about, you know, I get this like, I was at the Gaza Strip.
Hey, if that's an Arab perspective, I think that's a beautiful perspective that we need to amplify and hear.
No. But it's a little. You reach a point where you're like, just because you were at the Gaza Strip doesn't mean this guy has to work 14 hours a day for $800 a week. Or
Tyler,
whatever.
you were at the Gaza Strip last night, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Tyler's like, where is that?
He's like, what is that, Arab chicks? They got Arab chicks at a strip club?
Would be a really awesome thing to open up a strip club called the Gaza Strip next to our own bank called the West Bank, right next to each other.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's so good.
That's great. What's the name of the strip club you were at?
Seventh Veil again.
Seventh Veil.
Again. It's still kind of like
Tyler's very picky with the strip clubs.
Like it still has that. I bet there was not one Middle Eastern woman on that stage, but
no. Oh no, you know what though? I met a woman recently who was a Muslim stripper. She
practices?
Not practicing, but her parents are practice. Her parents wear the hijab and do all that stuff. So these chicks are out there.
I'm sure they are, but I bet the Seventh Veil, I just picture blonde girls with giant fake knockers.
As soon as she told me she was Arab or a Muslim, I couldn't look her in the eyes. I swear to God. I stopped being able to look her in the eyes. And it has nothing to do with anything other than being programmed as a kid to not look at Arabs as women as sexual.
Right.
Or-
Did she call you out on it? Did she notice it?
I've stopped listening to her as well, so I don't know.
You just went la 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 la.
No, I was really taken aback. It's funny whenever I meet an Arab or Muslim woman who does something like that. It always takes me a second to like adjust.
Right. Oh, good Lord! Staring at her feet.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. Bisexual Superman. That's a thing that everybody's talking about. Let's watch this clip for them to set it up, I guess, in case people haven't heard it.
Up in the sky, it's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
In the 83 years since Superman arrived on planet Earth, the Man of Steel has fascinated fans.
I've got you.
You've got me. Who's got you?
Today, a Daily Planet-type headline. DC Comics released this image, igniting John Kent, Lois Lane and Clark Kent's son, coming out as bisexual
Hell
in
yeah, dude.
celebration of National Coming Out Day.
For a long time, it's been.
Hit pause on that really quickly. I
cis
just want to
white
let
men.
everybody know why we laughed. We laughed. They were showing like old timey Superman clips, and then just a hard image of what looked like hentai porn.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it almost looked homophobic the way they drew Superman's boyfriend.
It looked like it straight up looked pornographic.
Yeah,
Like they were kissing in a way that was. I could tell I've never kissed my girlfriend that way.
You could tell that like below the frame, their cocks were out already.
It
like,
was
they were already
a passionate kiss that you saw. Okay, so let's see. This is Glenn Weldon. Let's see what Glenn Weldon from NPR has to say about this.
Story over and over again, and queer characters have been in the mix, but we've been serving his stories. This is part of a pattern on how popular media treats any marginalized group. You know, first, queer characters, we were the villains, and then we were the victims, and then we're the sidekicks, and now finally we can start to be the hero of our own stories. That's the goal here.
And just like his dad fell for Lois, John is enamored with a reporter. The young John Kent's romance is chronicled in an upcoming issue of the comic book. Release date, November 9th. The reporter, Jay Nakamura, is a shoulder for John to lean on.
Jay
when
Nakamura?
The pressures of being a Superman himself now becomes emotional kryptonite. The relationship then goes up, up, and away.
There are so many people reaching out in so many different languages, saying what this means to them.
As the prescient original Caped Crusader once said, the only way to change the world is to quit thinking it's a job for Superman. Real power lies in your own hands. Kerry Sanders, NBC News.
I'm gonna show this clip to my dad later today. See what he says.
I'm going to show it to my dad, too.
Okay, so a couple thoughts on this particular subject. First of all, the pictures were beautiful. Both those young men are very sexy. Let's be completely honest. That was hot. There's always an outrage on shit like this.
Yeah.
You were talking about.
I can't imagine Kurt Metzger's going to get like 10 hours out of this.
My honest to God feeling about this is a few things. First of all, kind of makes sense that Superman would be in the Superman's son would be in the LGBTQ movement.
He's also bi-human.
Oh, is he bi-human?
He's half human, half alien.
His dad is Superman, his mom is a human, so he's got some human flaws.
I imagine it's difficult for Superman to fuck without like breaking a woman in half.
I would picture anybody who has any of
Kevin Smith movie.
Huh?
It's like a Kevin Smith. Never mind.
Oh.
I would picture anybody who has any of Superman's DNA. Like Superman should be like in my head pansexual. Like it would be weird for him to just be straight. I feel like he'd be so advanced that he'd be fucking like everything.
Well, also it's like he's not human. So isn't that a little weird?
That he's horny or that he fucks?
Yeah,
or...
they fucks humans. Isn't that?
Why wouldn't an alien fuck? Maybe aliens fuck too.
Yeah, but no, of course aliens fuck, but they fuck whatever their species is. This is like trans species shit.
Sure. Yeah. I think there's a deep.
I mean, he also flies. And
Yeah.
and bullets bounce off his chest. So I guess I shouldn't get too deep into the reality of the situation.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying is it really makes sense to me that he fucks everything.
Yeah.
A cactus, a boy, a girl, a fucking,
He's a superhuman. He's
superhuman.
He's above sexuality.
It's like to me, I think my brain is not advanced enough to be a pansexual. I think there has to be some almost elevation. The one sex thing is very old world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So look, you can't hate DC for being ahead of the curve on this one. These guys are looking to make money. They're seeing where the wind is blowing, and they're thinking, look, in 50 years, everybody's going to be this way.
But is anybody buying print magazines anymore? Like even making them gay, is that going to do anything?
I'm telling you, a bunch of kids are going to buy that and whack off to it who are gay, and that's going to be awesome. Or bisexual.
Yeah, I just like, to me, like I just saw the James Bond movie, and it's interesting to me like how nobody makes they just give people hand-me-downs. They give like identities hand-me-downs. They're like, here, we built this thing, now we'll make it gay now.
Yeah.
And it's, instead of building a new identity, a new franchise, a new thing, like why change the old thing? Why not just get rid of it? Why not just no more Bond movies and make like a new gay Bond or whatever, but that's not Bond.
In defense of the look, dude, more Hollywood talk with Brian Vokey. Mm-hmm. I do think there's just a matter of like, it's easier to get something remade than it is to do something from scratch. I'm sure there's plenty of original character, because I've heard that people say that, like, why can't they just do their own thing?
No, not they. Why can't the business give them hires? There's plenty of people writing stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, why not roll the dice on a new franchise?
It's because people are stupid and they want to come to see the old thing that they kind of know. So it's almost like a thing of like, you almost have to kind of take it all the way back.
But aren't people very precious about the old thing? Like whenever they do anything with Star Wars that changes the identity or anything with, people freak out. They get so crazy about it.
Isn't this shit a lot about people just trying to get into shit they can give their kids that they like as well? Like that's also some of this too. It's like a parent.
Whatever it is, it's heavily influenced by loserdom. Like the outrage about any of this stuff. Like getting mad at Superman being gay. Like, that's a good life. If you're in a position where that breaks your heart, then you're in a good place.
I just don't know, and I hate to say this, but I really just don't know. This sounds so hacky, but like, why would you give a fuck who Superman fucks? It seems weird to me. Yeah. Like, you just want him to do the gig, don't you? Like, what's your deal with? That's the part that.
Also, Superman, people being like, Superman isn't this, he's different from when I was a kid. And it's like, yeah, it's for kids. It's not for you anymore. Yeah, it's moved on. It's for these kids.
You're
a man-child.
Middle-aged man.
Yeah.
You have a kid. You have two kids.
I imagine it also, in defense of these people, it is scary to one day look out the window and not recognize the world, but it happens to every person.
It happens to everybody.
That's part of life.
I don't begrudge almost anybody in this situation. I'm not, but I will say that you're more wrong if you give a shit. You need to accept it. I'm telling you from the outside here, if you give a shit, you are the more wrong person in this situation. DC's trying to make money, and they figured out that they will make way more money if they do this. Mm-hmm. Also, don't you have a feeling of like, well, we've had the ball for about 70 years. Let's just fucking move on. Like, do we need to see another?
I don't even feel like I had the ball. That's the other thing. I don't identify
with any of it.
I've never identified with Disney characters.
You just nailed it, dude. You just nailed it. That's exactly the feeling that I have as well.
Yeah.
I've never realized that. It's the more, if you don't care, it's because you've never identified with any of them, and therefore you're used to this. Like, this is fine. This is just exactly what happened to all the other ones.
It's another comic book character I have nothing in common with.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? So I could care less.
The point of privilege for so many of these people is they at some point may have identified with Superman.
That's insane. The ego. To look at Superman and see yourself, even as a white man or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. I've been a white man my whole life. I never looked at like Ronald Reagan and saw myself. That's crazy.
Here's how you know people are really homophobic. Superman, I think if I understand correctly, his origins, he was Jewish. It's like the creator meant for him to be Jewish. Like, Superman is a Jewish creation.
So he's an alien from another planet. He's Jewish. That sounds anti-Semitic to me.
Can you honestly Google that? Because I really believe that to be true. if I'm correct, which if I'm not correct, we'll just cut this part out. If I'm correct, that would mean that people are way more comfortable with him. That like, it's funny for people to be like, we're okay with the Jewish part.
I finally
come around on it.
And now you got to do this to me.
Superman's origin. So this is the creator of Superman. First of all, you can clearly Jerry Siegel. Very clearly a Jewish man.
Yeah, he's also a sergeant. He's got his stripes.
I believe the inspiration was for Superman to be initially Jewish. Am I right about this, Tyler?
This sounds like something your father told you.
And that's why I never got into DC. That's why I've always been a Marvel guy. No, I think that this is true. But either way, so look, if you didn't know this, here's something else to contend with.
Yeah.
If you're upset about the bisexual thing, let me give you something else that's gonna bother you. Superman is circumcised.
Yeah, it is funny how like everything in Hollywood is. Well, never mind. I don't agree with. I started into a point that I disagreed with before I even got it out. That's always good when you can catch yourself before you get it out.
All right, maybe it's not as easy to find. Okay, either way.
The other thing I will say, the word "super" at this point is very gay.
Yeah,
you know, like
I agree.
Who says "super" anymore? That's like a very like I picture like a gay waiter at a really nice restaurant.
Yeah,
being like, "Oh, I'll have this," and they go "super."
You know, I suspect Superman himself might even be a little bit gay. I don't know any men over 40 that jacked who are not gay. So he himself could be gay.
Right, unless they're fighters.
Unless they're fighters. That's
UFC
true.
fighters.
That's true. 45? That's old. Superman's older than 45. Once you're 45, you're now into retirement zone.
Yeah, you should be fat.
You should start to get a little fat.
Yeah,
You're not going to be cut.
But he might have different testosterone levels and shit.
We'll check. Yeah, that's a fair point. He might have completely different testosterone levels. I guess this was not as easy as I thought it was going to be to find. I will set up this next story really quickly because we're going to close the show out. We talked about it on our Patreon a little bit. It's being referred to as the Great Resignation. The United States is facing an unprecedented labor shortage, and it is triggered by the pandemic, and it's triggered by people just not wanting to go back to a shitty job. Really an interesting concept. Record numbers. What does that number say? So it says the number of workers in the United States quitting their jobs jumped to 4.3 million in August, the highest quit rates on record.
Do you think day trading and those kind of economies have helped this as well?
Tremendously. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there is a subsection of people, 1/3 of this podcast right now, who's in this category, which is like, up so high on Bitcoin, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not going to show up to some bullshit. I'm not a millionaire by any means, but you reach a point where you're kind of like, and I think there's a significant number of people who reached that point where they went, I could chill for a little bit while I figure some stuff out. That definitely contributed to it.
The sign on the image used for this Al Jazeera article says McDonald's is hiring and it offers you a $500 sign up bonus.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being so excited about $500 that you work at McDonald's?
That's the thing, man. Is I can't even understand like that.
Tyler, that would get you, wouldn't it?
It looked pretty nice.
Yeah, $500, dude.
$500 is so.
I guarantee that you have to work here for 180 days.
Of course.
We'll give you your $500.
And just an FYI, that $500 is subject to federal income tax, state tax. So
the Hamburglar is going to take about $50 from it.
Unfortunately, you do have a mandatory contribution to the Ronald McDonald
Cancer House.
Yeah,
thing.
the Cancer House. The organization that I can't seem to figure out how they keep making money. Like I've never once put a penny in there.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm actively looking for a job right now, like in the production field, and I can't find one.
Yeah, I've retired.
Yeah, I'm thinking about retiring. That's my point. I was thinking about retiring. I got about $800. I'll throw that into Sheba, pump and dump that.
We'll see.
Safe Moon.
6 or 7 more stimulus checks come through, and then
I didn't get the stimulus check this last one.
They just went out for a lot of people. You should be getting it in the coming weeks. What are the last 3 numbers of your zip code?
063.
Oh, you're getting them. Yours will be mailed out this week. I'm telling you right now, and I'm not going to make him do it, but if he did Google it, you would find out that I was correct.
Yeah.
I found it's based on your zip code number is when you get your stimulus check.
Oh, interesting.
They went out like 0, 0. If it ends in 000 to 0041, they went out the first week, and I think 66 went out the next week.
This is such a funny thing to know.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know. You twisted my arm to drop that fact.
Do any of your siblings have a kid?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you their names. See if you knew your nephews or nieces' names, but you did know the zip code.
The Badawi family
shooting blanks
has completely withdrawn from we've withdrawn our application from reproducing. All of us have been like, there's just no way to do this.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna happen. According to Al Jazeera,
we don't know how to do this.
It's just not. It just didn't work.
You just have to come. That's all you have to do. It's not hard to figure out. I'm sure.
So I'll tell you right now, man. Even that stage, it's like challenging for the old Ram dog. According to this Al Jazeera article, fast food restaurants are having corporate employees work frontline jobs due to the shortage.
Yeah.
That fucking rules.
Yeah.
If there's any good news in this article, it's this. This fucking rules.
Yeah.
It feels like they're doing a fundraiser or something.
Then all of a sudden, those Dave Thomas commercials when we were kids are real. Remember Dave Thomas, the CEO owner of Wendy's, was always flipping burgers.
In the commercial, yeah.
Like, you flipped a burger in a commercial. Other than that, you haven't done that in 50 years. Get the fuck out of here. It'd be so funny to see the CEO of McDonald's just blasting him for not giving you enough ketchup. Where's my fucking ketchup? Derek, or whatever the fuck his name is.
He's like, now I do got to let you know, this actually does come out of my my top line pay as a corporation, so I am going to be stingy with these. Dude, it's all just men.
It's all just, old men.
Old white dudes.
Yeah.
It's fucking rules.
Good
man.
Lord, somebody just had a baby in the bathroom.
Does this lead? So I'm always cynical about this. I always say this is the end times and it's over. Does this lead to a new era of prosperity? Do these jobs start paying people at some point a regular living wage?
No, what happens is that the companies everything's going to become boutique-y. Chains are going to close down, and poor people are going to have just less and less access to anything.
You think that the closing or you think maybe the demolishing of the great corporate American, fast food chains and all that stuff, that's going to impact the poor people the worst?
Of course, it always does. That's always what happens.
Interesting. I suppose that is a positive spin on the story, I guess. I was looking for some good
silver lining,
some light at the end of the tunnel. It couldn't.
No. What's gonna happen is it's just like we're just gonna become an even more disparate economy.
Ooh, I have a possible alternative. Minimum wages go up. This is Thomas. This is some like real libertarian thinking here, but those minimum wages go up. Those jobs start to pay a little bit more. All of a sudden, college graduates are stepping in to take a job. Do you think college graduates would ever show up? Like, is there a number? 18 an hour? Is a college graduate showing up to McDonald's to flip a burger?
How long ago did they graduate college?
2 years.
Because I bet there's like a bell curve. Where it's like if you're fresh out of college, you probably do it. Or if you're unemployed and you're 45.
Yeah.
Probably 18 would get you in.
That's always the libertarian argument, which is like if you raise the minimum wage,
money means nothing anymore.
Well, not just that money means nothing anymore. It's that they have to make better. Their hiring decisions have to go to more advanced people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. We have a labor shortage. We have a chronic.
Is the labor shortage affecting anything outside the food service industry?
All low wage jobs shortaged.
So retail.
That's why but restaurants are where you're seeing it the most. I think that this COVID thing fucked restaurants the hardest.
Yeah.
Restaurants are definitely where you see it most. I'm driving by every single day. I see a restaurant with a sign in the window that's like $1,200 signing bonus, work today. And I think to myself, I would rather kill myself.
Yeah. For me, it's probably going to come down to that. I still would rather, you know what? I'll be standing in front of a Chick-fil-A with a gun in my pocket and I'll stare for a second and then you'll just see blood on the fucking logo.
It's because we are animals. Like as humans are animals. It's not that I'm like averse to hard work.
Yeah.
It's that condition of hard work, I don't think anybody needs to do.
I work like 17 hours a day.
Yes.
But I just don't
I
make
don't
any
get
money.
screamed at about a guy because he
yeah.
doesn't have ketchup or does what. Like I've seen. Like I said, I talked about it earlier on the episode. The Karen freak out.
I did accidentally announce a baby mother's name on a podcast I wasn't supposed to do. I was producing a podcast the other day, and it's already been announced, but it was like this big influencer guy. He had a baby, and the baby mama wanted to do her own announcement first, and he said her name like 8 times on the podcast.
Hilarious.
I bleeped 7 of them. One slipped through, and like people are screaming at me, and I'm like, I don't really get paid enough to give a shit about your fucking baby mama's name getting out there.
That's why people do.
I think like Netflix might be involved. I think it was a problem.
Oh shit! Well, probably we'll just hold off on that.
No, it's fine now.
It's fine now.
Everything's fine. No, it's just like it was just funny because I was just thinking about getting like I don't want a job where I get yelled at, and then I was like, no, I still get yelled at.
I was laughing, and there's no need to really open this link up. It's fine, but there was this guy Barry Sternlicht. He was on CNBC the other day, and he's like a CEO of like one of these fucking hedge fund companies or whatever. There's now a concerted effort to get the government to pay people to go to work, which is really funny. Like what a hilarious way to pawn off corporate welfare.
Yeah, for real.
To literally go like, I think that the United States government should start paying people $200 a month if they have a shitty job.
We're not going to raise the minimum wage.
We'll push it off on the rest. That's what Lyft and Uber and all these other fucking assholes do that people don't know about, is that they go, we pay everybody so little, and they're able to get by because they can get on food stamps. So ultimately what happens is you, the American taxpayer, subsidize the corporate not paying their people enough money.
Jesus Christ.
Not that I have an issue with the guy getting food stamps to make ends meet. It's the flip side of like just paying a guy $400 more a month. But they factor all this shit out. Walmart famously used to have signs in their break rooms that told people how to get public help.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you could totally see stories about this where they're like, here's how to apply.
Free clinics.
Yeah, here's how to apply for this, and here's where the free clinics are. So,
oh my God, they're investing more in finding missing people than they're helping their own employees.
Yeah,
do you remember that Walmart used to just be covered in missing people when you walked in?
Yeah.
Poster, you would walk into Walmart like, I'm here to get Tupperware. Do I really have to?
Yeah.
Why is this the place to go find out where the missing person is?
Well, they all used to work here, so we're looking to we're trying to get money again.
Yeah. Walmart's a weird, wacky little store. Like the fact that it's like one of the few stores that just lets you sleep in their parking lot. The entrance, you have to confront death in 2 ways in the entrance. First, you have to look at all the kidnapped, dead, murdered people on the wall. Then you have to see the oldest person in the world to greet you.
Yeah,
you walk in. It's a wacky little place.
And then they sell they're the only one of those superstores that sells guns and ammo. They also have that light in not every Walmart, but most Walmarts, that it's supposed to resemble a police light at night. It's a blue flashing light. You ever notice that when you go into a Walmart, it'll have the blue flashing light just to detract riffraff? Because
where is it?
It's usually like in the front. It's attached to like a light pole. And all it does is just flicker blue. You ever see this before, Tyler?
It's just like a bug zapper.
It just flickers blue, and I never knew what it was about until I realized they're trying to slowly or quietly, subconsciously make people think cops are around.
It's so funny because
Did you go out? Yeah, your mic just went out. Is that the cable? I think this might be the cable. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so funny. I used to make a living stealing from them. That was like how I made a living for years.
Yeah, you're not the people they're thinking of. I think it's actually meth. I think methed out people can't really do the math.
Yeah. They just see blue lights and run.
And they just run.
That's a good move.
It's actually a good move. It's like when they play classical music or whatever for the drunks.
Yeah.
To get the drunks away from 7-Eleven. It's so funny that drunk people are like, I can't hear it.
Is this Bach in D minor? I'm gonna hurl.
All right, let's wrap the show up. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Worst Hour Pod. We're gonna go back to more clip format, which is gonna be awesome. Follow Tyler, by the way, on all social media platforms at Tyler Gizar. If we can get Tyler, what's your next follower goal?
I don't.
Do you have 1,000 followers?
Tyler posts on his Instagram stories like a madman.
Yeah, I do.
Do you have 1,000 followers, Tyler? We're gonna get Tyler to 1,000 followers on this
Tyler,
show.
do you look at
540?
Do you look at who looks at your stories?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Like literally like 4 months ago, it blew my. I found out.
Discovered it. Yeah.
No, I knew you could. I just never was. I could never be bothered to look at who was looking at my stories.
Well,
I found out that everybody does that.
Sometimes you're curious as to maybe why. You're never curious about whose feeds you pop into, because that's the information that I get out of that. I don't look at it to be like, did Tyler see my story?
Yeah.
I just go like, if I see 5 stories in a row and I see that Tyler saw all 5, my brain can extrapolate that I'm showing up in his feed.
Yeah,
Sometimes, that information.
All I see is the 3 little circles they give you the in the corner.
Yeah.
It says how many people saw it in the 3 circles of whatever avatars or whatever.
What if you put up a poll? You don't see the answers there?
I do like the answers, but I don't look at who voted for what. I just like the answers.
I look very specifically at who voted for what.
Well, you're actually polling.
I'm putting together a list.
Yeah. You're actually polling.
Do you have anything? Do you have anything to plug?
No. This Sunday I'll be in San Diego at Blind Lady Ale House, October 22nd. Hollywood Improv, Adrenaline. Please get a ticket if you're in the Patreon. You get a ticket for free. Just DM us or message us on Patreon, and get you a +1 too.
I saw. I've been running ads on the show, and we're starting to get some momentum. So it's going to be quite. It looks like it's going to be quite a good show. I'm excited about that. So be sure to go. You can get tickets in the link in our show notes. I put them in there. And if you're in Phoenix this Thursday through Sunday, I will be there October 21st through whatever 4 days later is. October 25th.
5th?
Something like that. Come and check me out if you want. I can get you free tickets. You can email the show, worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. Follow us all social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us 5 stars on the Apple Podcast app. If you've got nothing else to say, Brian, I've got nothing else to say. On behalf of everybody here at the Worst Hour Nation, peace be on to the prophet.
Long live Superman.
Thank you for listening to the Worst Hour of the Week with Brian Vokey and Ramsey Badawi. Peace be unto the prophet. Okay,